Hello, everybody. Welcome to our workshop for today. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on where you guys are joining us from today. Hope everybody's having a fantastic Tuesday and week so far. Just to make sure that everybody can see and hear us, please find the chat and let us know where you are joining us from. I already see that there's one person joining us from the Philippines. Welcome. There's going to be a short delay, so I'm just going to tell you a couple of more things before we start this awesome workshop that we have planned for you guys today. If this is the first time you're joining one of our digital events, we want to welcome you. We hold our webinars, roundtables, workshops, and onboarding days to share some insightful and actionable information with the SEO community, help you make the most of our tools, which is the topic of today's event, and hopefully give you some takeaways that will help you increase the traffic to your website. All right, so the topic of today's workshop is advanced insights on SEO rankings content editor, AI-driven SEO content creation. I already see in the chat that we have people from Western New York, Germany, Hamburg, Spain, the Netherlands, Illinois, Connecticut, Holland. Great to have you all with us. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy days to be here with us. My name is Andrew Zurudny, so let me just quickly introduce ourselves. My name is Andrew Zurudny. I'm part of the marketing team over at SEO, and I'm today joined by Maxim Bliznuk, who is our customer success manager. Hey, Maxim, thanks for joining me for today's workshop.
Thank you. That's a pleasure. Hey, guys.
Yeah, I already see more people joining from Pennsylvania, Colorado, more from the Netherlands, Canada, even Austria. Great. I'd love to have a crowd from all over the world. So let me just say a couple of more things. What is going to happen today? So we are SEO ranking, putting this together. So if you are a client of ours, welcome. If you are not a client of ours, let me just tell you a couple of words about SEO ranking. So we have advanced tools for marketing teams, for agencies, and up on the screen you see a lot of badges that are sort of recognition from independent experts and our users, just sort of solidifying that we are in the right direction in terms of delivering advanced tools for those marketing teams that work with clients or just in agencies. Sort of to dive a bit deeper into that, to elaborate on, we have a complete SEO toolkit which we are always constantly expanding. And if you joined us one of our workshops like 2 years ago, we didn't have a workshop on the content editor. So this is something new, and we're just only rolling out more and more stuff. And we know in the world of SEO, data without accuracy does not mean anything. So we do our best to always make sure our algorithms are up to date. You provide unique data sets that will provide you with actionable insights for your projects and for your clients' projects and so on. And like I said, since we are all about teamwork, helping you work with your teams and with clients, we have a lot of collaborative features that will help you just manage all these processes and share data seamlessly with one another. Today's event is going to be about the content editor tool. As I said, it's all about creating quality content quickly. First off, I'm going to tell you a bit about our latest developments, but the biggest part of this event is going to be devoted to Maxim sharing the major updates with regard to the content editor. And up on the screen, you can see the bullet list of the things that we're going to cover specifically with regard to the content editor. And also stick around to find out what the agency catalog can do for your business if you're an agency. So that would be something to look out for. And so let's get started with the latest developments. We have not rolled out not only the content editor, but we also have an updated SMM, social media management tool, which we're going to roll out officially a bit later on. We have a really awesome AI-powered insights tool that just shows you, just saves you time and just shows you automatically what can be improved on your website in terms of like new keywords or pages that can be easily optimized, or just pointing out competitors' new keywords or pages, just sort of giving you a bit of an easy opportunity to start your day without just wasting 2 hours on analyzing what has changed. So, and the local marketing tool, if you have a physical brick and mortar store, our tool has been live for over a year now, but we are constantly updating it. So I just wanted it goes to show that we are constantly growing along with the development of the industry, with the tech that is being rolled out there. Just before I give the word to our main course of the day, let me just say that this presentation is going to be recorded. You'll get the recording, the replay will be sent to your inboxes You don't have to write down anything. What we do want you to do, guys, is to find the chat and just reach out to us if you have any questions as we're going through this. We will have a dedicated Q&A section at the very end where we'll address all the questions that we were not able to answer at the moment. Yeah, and without further ado, let me just give the word to Maxim, and I'll be in the chat looking at your guys' beautiful thoughts, and ladies. So when I mean guys, I mean everybody, of course. So let me just give the word to Maxim, and I'll be also checking out this amazing workshop.
Hey everybody, thank you, Andrew. It was a beautiful introduction. Hey everybody, whether you're completely new to asset ranking, or you've been a very devoted and committed client of ours for a couple of years or even a couple of weeks, today I'm very pleased to be with all of you so that I can elucidate a bit more on the innovations that we have within the content marketing package, which is an add-on. It can be purchased on top of your subscription. This is something that we've been working a lot on. We understand the importance of having AI for your day-to-day use, especially when it comes to content creation, finding new creative ways to add the text to the landing pages, to your e-commerce pages, and etc. So basically, as you can see my screen right now, I'm going to walk you through one specific feature that we have embellished with lots of assistance from our devs team with algorithms that actually help you improve the content that you have, work with the content that you've already created, and just see what other ways there are to strive for success there. Now, as mentioned before, content marketing, for those of you who do not know, is an add-on that can be purchased with your subscription. Now, the main and focal feature here is Content Editor, which basically is a kind of collaboration space, a workspace, where you and your teams can actually create the text for your future readers. As you can see right now, we are in the overview window. This is exactly where you can take a look at all of those high-quality content articles that you've created, at all of the landing page descriptions, and so on and so forth. Now, not to dive too deep into the articles that I have here, most of which are experimental, let's take a look at the three articles right here at the top. This is the end result that you should be striving for when working with Content Editor. Now, by using our AI assistant, you're able to create high-quality content and then link it directly to your Google Analytics and Google Search Console to actually see how successful that article is, to see the metrics in terms of impressions, clicks, averages of other metrics, and etc. Now, the first thing you need to know about Content Editor is that not only it allows you to create an article from scratch, but it also allows you to pull an existing article from all of those published pages that you have. So basically, as you can see here, I have these three articles at the very top, and I've linked them to an existing article within our blog that our beautiful marketing agents have created. Now, this allows me to actually pull all of those contents of that particular page into the editor and start working from there. So I do not actually need to start from scratch. I can actually continue optimizing the page that I've already created. Now, let's get a bit more into the specifics and start creating the first article that we have. Now, I'm going to go ahead and just click New Article right here in the top right-hand corner. And it's going to prompt me to a very small menu, but which is extremely important. Because here I need to designate the primary keyword of the article I will be working with. I need to designate the search engines, the article name, and if possible, a competitor that I would like to compare it to in the future. But more importantly, if you already have a published article, something that you would like to optimize in terms of your SEO, engagement, etc., you can go ahead and designate that specific URL right here. So let's take an example of one of those blog articles that our beautiful marketing agents have created. I'm going to pick this article, How to Craft a Content Strategy That Actually Works. It was published by Svetlana and Anastasia. And all I need to do is simply copy paste the search bar address here, and then go back to the settings of the article and paste it right here. Now, the next step is to designate the primary keyword that the article is about. And since we're looking for better strategies in terms of creating content, let's go with content strategy. Okay, Now, I'm not going to reinvent the wheel here. I'm just going to copy paste the name of the already existing article and just hit create an article. It should only take a couple of minutes for the system to analyze the page, to pull all of the contents of that page directly into the editor, and then we can start working with it. We'll be working with it by having full command of the metrics there, of the keywords that are used there, and the system will be prompting us to what exactly needs to be improved there in order to optimize the content score and the overall engagement. So while the system is doing its job, let
I
me know
want
what.
to jump in. Sorry, Max. I want to take it, make use of this opportunity to already sort of address one of the questions that was asked in the chat. It was about the previous section that we showed about the analytics of the article. So I just want to address the question that no, it is not. It does not. These metrics are not with regard to the keyword. It's with regard to your web page. So we connect Google services to see what clicks you're getting, what impressions you're getting, to give you a quick access to the like put a finger on the pulse of that specific web page. So this is not about keywords in it. It's about the performance of that specific web page.
Perfect. Thanks, Andrew. You're completely correct. The metrics that we were seeing in the overview page in regards to the analytics, they only refer to the page in general. Now, thankfully, the system has finished analyzing the text, and we can go through the actual text that we have on the page. And just for the sake of the experiment, let's move back to the page to check if the content actually corresponds to the one that the system has pulled into the editor. And as you can see, all of that content has been transferred directly to the editor now. Now, this is one of those cases when you have those published articles and you're only starting your work to optimize your clients' pages, because now the system can actually give you lots of insights and ways to improve the content that already exists there. Now, to the right, you will see the control panel. Basically, the control panel is where most of the magic happens, because the system is going to let you know what the optimal metrics for that particular article would be in order for you to reach maximum engagement there. Now, to the right, you see the optimal number of the words you need to use in the article, headings, paragraphs, images, terms, and even links. Before we move further into the insights and the details of the control dashboard right here, I want to make sure that you understand that whatever you do with the editor is completely flexible. It's up to you what metrics you see here, and the ones that you see to the right are only suggestions. If at some point you decide to change those suggestions and maybe you would like to adjust the metrics, you can always go to the brief settings right here. Brief settings will basically move you to the workspace where you can create what the future article should look like. And then using those guidelines, whether you or your content writers will be following it through in order to accomplish the end goal. Now, do not get overwhelmed with multiple settings here and links and metrics. This is quite simple. I'm going to walk you through each and every step that we have here. Now, first of all, when you have decided to adjust the settings a little, the first thing you need to do is analyze the competition. Now, in the competitors tab, the system is prompting the top served results based on that keyword that you have added and on the search engine that you've designated. Now, right here in this view, you can see the top articles that your future article will be competing against. Now, it's up to you now to decide which articles you would later like to use to be used by the system in order for you to create even better, more quality, more competitive content. So make sure to shuffle through these top serves and decide which ones work best for you. Make sure to pay attention to the content score, because this is the way of our system to tell you how quality the content is and how reliable the material in it is as well. Make sure to pay attention to domain trust, because that's how Google sees the trustworthiness of that particular website. And of course, it will measure your competition by domain trust as well. Make sure to pay attention to total traffic as well, because of course, we're looking for the most competitive articles there so that we can base our future article on those. And the more traffic they have, the more reliable they will be, and the more the more profitable they will be for your clients in the future. And finally, the top metric that I normally pay attention to is the number of words right here. Because if you're trying to build a simple landing page description, then of course, comparing your article to an article that has around 3,000 words is not very reasonable. So you might want to look for something smaller. If you do not find the options here, you can always ask the system to look for more of those. But let's put aside that landing page experiment. Right now, what we're doing is that we're building an actual article that tells us about the quality strategies in how to create the content. So I'm going to disable some of those that I do not see fit. So for instance, this one is going to be too big. It's around 2,500 words. The 7,000 word article is no good fit either. So yep, the rest, they can stick with us for the later steps. Now, once you've done deciding which competitors you would like to compare your article to, we can move to the actual technical parameters. And in the content parameters section, you're now able to designate the size of your article, the number of the headings, the number of the paragraphs, and even images, if this is something you're going to be adding to. Of course, as any content creator, you know that having those visual aids, having those visual bits, they actually increase the engagement there. So make sure to pay attention to how many of those you add. And if you haven't been adding any images, start doing it right now, and you will see drastic changes in the results. After that, we have terms to use. So using that content strategy primary keyword that we added, the system is now looking for any similar keywords that can be used. Now, those are not going to be exact duplicates of the keywords, but they will have a very similar semantic meaning. Therefore, you can depend and rely on the suggestions that we have here. From here, you can decide which ones you would like to discard and which ones you would like to keep. Now, remember that the keywords that you add to your content, they actually matter because they create the kind of aim that brings in that attention and impressions from your future readers. Make sure to pay attention to search volume, of course, because you want to have a very reasonable scope of people that are covered by that particular keyword. Now, if you're not sure what these metrics are about, if you're like new to SEO or if you're only starting out, you can always hover over a specific header of a column, and you will see a tooltip that will actually let you know what the metric is about, why it's important, and how to use it for your future considerations. Okay, so once you're done with the terms to use here, we can move on to the other additional settings. Links is where you can decide which links your content creators, maybe your copywriters, will have to add to that text. Now, you must be wondering, like, where are all of these links coming from? Well, this would be a very fair question because some of those are auto-generated. But most of those are actually pulled from the articles of those competitors we decided to keep in the first place. So if you want to create an anchor and then link your article to one of those resources right here, just like your competitor did, feel free to do that. This will definitely increase your engagement overall. After that, the system is quite smart and it understands that the way people speak to the internet and the way they look for results is normally in the form of questions. So using those questions can be quite flexible and beneficial for you. Now, the questions suggested here, they can be pulled either from the People Also Ask section of Google or from the competitors themselves. Now, it's now up to you to decide how exactly you're going to use those questions. Maybe you want to use them as headings. Maybe you want to simply sprinkle them within the text to increase the engagement and the interest of the readers, and so on and so forth. But make sure to add at least a couple of questions within a few paragraphs. This will definitely help. Now I'm going to disable this one and this one. After that, we have the content structure section. Now, this is an extremely crucial step in terms of building your article, because basically you're going to be creating the foundation, the skeleton of your future article. And we offer a couple of marvelous and simple ways how you can create a structure. Now, first of all, here's the old school manual way, where you can simply go ahead and click Add Headings manually. And now you can just copy paste the headings you already have, or you can just come up with them on the spot. Secondly, you might want to also have a peek into the structures of those articles that we're going to be competing against. So again, the websites that we see here are the ones that we decided to keep in the competitor section. And now we can actually see the structure of all those tags that we're competing against. So let's say I see a couple of valuable bits of headings that I would definitely like to use for my own future article. So I'm going to add this one by clicking the cross icon next to it, and then maybe this one. And then let's go to Coursera.org, and I do see a couple of viable options here, and I can also add them to my structure. Now, once you've done the shuffling the structure here, you can go back to my headings. And as you can see, now we have started creating the structure of the future text. Now, we provide you with as much flexibility as we can because we understand that when we create an article, there are always going to be changes. So what you can do is that you can always drag and drop the bits of text here. You can always decide what kind of heading that is going to be. And of course, if you're creating a very complex and big article, you will see plenty of options that need changing right here. Okay, and finally, we have another way to simplify the way you create that structure. And this is by using our AI assistant. Now, all you need to do is simply go to the AI writer section right here, switch to the headings and subheadings, and then designate the topic. Let's go with content strategy. Now, let's make sure to add a few important keywords here. Content, content creation, content strategy. Yeah, and this will do. And now we can ask the system to auto-generate those. Now, I personally love using AI, but I try not to depend on it too much, and I will talk about that a bit later. But as we can see, we have a full list of very viable, useful headings that we can go ahead and simply start adding to our future structure. Now, once we're done with the structure here, we can move on to the next steps. Now, these two are quite straightforward. You can leave any notes you would like your future copywriters to know about on metadata they will be creating, and then some regular notes you would like them to pay attention to. Once this is done, we just click Go to Content Editor. And now we see a structure here. We see how it has changed. And we always can use the dashboard to the right to dive deeper into the structure we've created, to see the insights that we need to pay attention to. So for instance, if I'm a copywriter and I have all of those brief settings set up, and I'm not sure how to move forward, I just go to the outline menu right here. I have content structure, and now there you are. I can go ahead and I know what the structure is about. But this is something we started a bit in reverse, I must say. Now, this is an already made bit of text, but if we're looking to create something from scratch, which is most of the time the case, we would need to go ahead and delete this one. And now, from here, the system prompts us to a couple of different options. We have 2 AI-assisted article generation options, and then 1 manual option. So if I go ahead and adjust that content structure once more, the system will then prompt me to paste the structure, and I will simply see all of those headings right after one another. And then my copywriters can go ahead and type it in. But this is not something we're all gathered here for, right? What we're looking for is a very simple and neat way to create content without spending too much time on it. And that's where our AI assistance comes in handy. We currently offer 2 main options. we allow you to use our AI wizard to walk the system through each of the paragraphs, each of the steps of the future article to make sure that it actually corresponds with the corporate identity that you have, with the voice that you're sharing, and of course with the message that you're conveying. And then we have the option to generate an article in one click, which is a much faster way for you to create the content. So we can go ahead with it and test it out together. Let me just
If you don't mind, this is a great opportunity to address a couple of questions that we have. One question is, let me bring it up on the screen, from Raul, is about, do we support Portuguese? Does this content editor support it?
This is actually a very good question. At this time, we support a multitude of languages in terms of checking the quality and grammar mistakes. If I'm not mistaken, Portuguese should be one of those. I'm not 100% sure, but this is something, I think this is something our support guys can help us with. Do we have someone from the support team here in the chat out here?
No, but from what I know, we are first rolling out the English language. So in terms of, because specifically the question has the word AI in it. So we don't generate text in Portuguese just yet, because it was actually like a whole like 2-month process, and maybe even longer, with regard to optimizing the English language, because we wanted to get the right, to figure out what the prompts are to get an article that would look quality, with regard to the standards that we have on this market.
Right,
so right now it's only English, yeah. But we hear you right now. What you said, like, we hear you, and we are adding it to our list of things to do. Another question that we have here is about, it's a bit off topic, but still we can take this opportunity once again to I want to let know, creative director, that we are working on these things, but they take time. We have like 4 different teams working on different tools at a time, and the social media management tool has been rolled out in sort of alpha, so only to us at the moment. But we hear you right now once again, because one of the driving forces behind this ranking is you guys. So you let us know what you need, and we do our best to provide you with it. So it's not like we're listening to somebody else. We are specifically focusing on what you need. Yeah, that is what I wanted to add about this, because it was a bit off topic. Sorry for Maxim, I'm just taking care of all these questions without asking you.
Okay, that's perfect.
There's one that maybe you know about. So it is, will these features be available? Because Jay has access to 3 articles a month. So I'm guessing that is one of the most basic plans, almost like a free trial version. When you get access to 3 articles, you have to check with your subscription plan, because obviously we have different plans, and different plans provide you with different things. But as far as I know, the content editor is an add-on, so you can have like the basic access to SEO ranking, but purchase like a full access to generate a whole lot of number of different articles per month. So it's a very dynamic and flexible thing that you can do, Jay. So I'm hoping that answered the question. And let me just see where. Oh, we have one more question, because there are actually 2 very similar questions. It is about, will Google accept these AI generated articles?
If I may, can I take it from here, Andrew? Yep. This is a great question, Maud, and this is something I was about to get to. So we understand that in the world of AI, everybody's trying to push new features, saying that, hey, they're going to just simplify the way you work with content, and you can create it in one click. So there is no simple answer to will AI-generated text will be accepted by Google in general. But the way we see it is that the tools we offer here, they are just tools, right? So we offer you a way to create the foundation of your article from scratch by using AI, to get the guidance that you need by using AI. And then, as any experienced and seasoned SEO specialist and content writer knows, there has to be a human voice in there. So our rule of thumb, or our general recommendation, is that you go ahead and you use the tools that we offer here, because they will definitely simplify and the way you work with your content. But at the same time, you would actually need to pay some attention when it comes to editing, to adding your own voice, to adding the corporate identity, to the actual identity, the personality behind the text. And this way, the text will definitely be good enough for Google. So this is something that we normally suggest, and I hope that helps and just answers the question. If not, just let me know, Maud.
And just a bit of a spoiler alert, we are going to be showing you guys a little something that has to do with sort of sidestepping this Google's AI detection in just a bit. So if you wait around, we'll show you that part. And one of the last questions is, I'm gonna definitely stop here, Max. Where can we find this tool, the content editor and the tool? Because so I'm guessing manual that you don't have access to, you didn't purchase specifically access to the add-on of the content editor, but you can see on Max's screen, it is on the left-hand side, it is highlighted in this grayish color. Could you maybe expand the navigation bar just to show the good people where it is available once it is connected? So just manual, make sure to go to your subscription in the user area of your account and just see what your subscription is. Maybe you just didn't try it. Yep, and I'm gonna give you the word, and I'll check back in with you guys later on.
Thanks so much, Andrew, for those beautiful answers, and thanks so much, guys, for those questions. We will get to them a bit later. We'll have some more time to answer the rest of the questions that you have. Feel free to type in even more. Now let's take a step back and come back to the article that has now been created by our AI. So as you can see, it's a fully viable text with lots of suggestions. The system also prompts where specifically you would need to add images. You see all of those points that all of those points answered in terms of the keyword that we've added, right? Because we designated a particular keyword, and now our AI assistant has searched for the best way to describe what that keyword is about and create a whole article around it. Now, in terms of the text itself, you can read through it. It provides you with a very great insight into the topic we've designated. Now, some of you might be wondering, like, hey, what's the difference between ChatGPT and your AI? Why can't I just use ChatGPT to create those? Well, because the way we work with AI is that we have implemented lots of new algorithms to plenty of effort and hard work of our devs and product teams in order to make this text very aimed at SEO optimization. So the way our system works is that it looks for the best way not only to create those bits of text for you, but also to optimize them right away so that they're engaging and that they create those impressions and clicks for you, and that they work in the way they're created in the way that any SEO specialist would create them in the first place. So let's take a look at this text here. We do see that the dashboard to the right has changed, and I think it's time to pay attention to the dashboard a little so that we have a better understanding how it works. So content score right here ranges from 0 to 100, and basically 100 would be your ideal bit of text. Do not be too harsh on yourself if you see that the content score is below 100. If it's at 70s or 80s or 90s, this is just the ideal case scenario. So your job here is to make sure that you can improve the text in a way that the content score will increase. And the way you do that is actually described right here below. So you see the first step, which is brief progress. And it will prompt you to the things that need fixing, like the number of the headings. As you can see, we're a bit falling back the number of the headings that are needed. So we need to add about 29 new headings. Then the number of images is not what we have in the brief settings. The same for the terms, but the links are at 0. So the closer you actually follow your own guidelines, the ones that you set up in the brief, and again, from here, you can go directly to the brief, adjust those settings, and you will see the changes on the right on the right-hand panel as well. And the closer you get to your own guidelines, the higher the content score. Below, there are quite a few suggestions that you will find useful. You have two different tabs. You have content score and brief progress. Now, content score will prompt tips and insights on what needs to be added or adjusted in the text in order for that content score to go up. Whereas brief progress is just a general overview of what is missing, the number of the keywords, number of the paragraphs, the links, etc. So if you're striving for that best content score and best quality content, you would need to go into the content score section here and follow those through. So for instance, we're missing the number of the paragraphs. We need to increase those. Then some headings could actually use a couple of keywords, and we can go ahead and simply click the plus here, and this will automatically add a keyword, and then we can create a new heading with it or add it to an existing one. And then we will see all of those terms that have not been used yet that we actually need to add to our content. Below, you will see the images and the readability score, which is also extremely important because now the system can also tell you not only that you're missing some words, but like, hey, you've got all of the keywords that are needed, you've got all of those paragraphs, but this text is a bit unreadable. So below, you also have the option to rewrite bits of text that are considered to be unreadable by using our AI, of course. Now, you can click it right here, and that specific bit of text is going to be transformed a little. So you can go ahead and see what we need to rewrite. Let's say this particular sentence is something we need to work on. I can, of course, go ahead and do it manually. I can just retype it, rewrite it, find new ideas, or I can deploy our AI assistant here. As you can see, I've just selected this bit of text, and I have the AI writer option appearing to the right. I can go ahead and rewrite it or expand it. Let's say I want this specific paragraph to be bigger, not only rewrite it in different words, I will go with the expand option now. And what happens then, in a few moments, I will have a bit more text. It's not watered down, it's not vague, it's actually something that the system helps you to tell your future readers, to tell them more about, for instance. So feel free to use this rewrite and expand option if needed, or you can also go ahead, and if you had a separate heading, let's go with conducting content audit and competitor analysis, we have also the option to generate a whole paragraph from that heading. Now, some of you might have noticed that there is this option, let me just highlight it once more, to ask AI. Now, what it does is that you can also find it right next to any paragraph. And here you can actually speak with our AI assistant and ask them to do changes on particular bits of those on that text. So this is quite handy because you do not actually need to reselect the text all the time. You do not need to do it manually all the time. And you can actually communicate with AI assistant, our AI wizard, in a more humane way. So yeah, that's basically it. That's how you normally work with the dashboard to the right. But this is just one of those tabs right here, as you might have noticed. Now, if you remember, I mentioned that in the outline section, we can actually see the structure that we created in the brief. So if you are ever in need to come back to that exact structure, you can find it right here. If you want to see the terms that you added and how many of those have been used, you can also find them to the right. Then all of those links, but we did not add any, all of those questions that we decided to keep in the brief, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, Max, I want to jump in here, and we have a question about this specific area. Is it wise to catch up with the keywords suggested by SEO ranking on the content, or just trim it down?
Let me just read this through once more to make sure that I understand you correctly. To catch up with the words suggested by SEO ranking on the content, or just trim it down. This is a very good question, but I'm not sure if I fully understand.
Okay. I got it, because I was reading it before I even showed it to you, so I already had time to prepare. And so once again, there are a couple of scenarios. Either you know what you're doing in SEO, or you don't know what you're doing and you just want to trust whatever the system has. If you don't know what you're doing, I would just trust what it is, what Max just showed you, like with regard to selecting the competitors. If you select the right competitors, then the system will suggest something that is will be useful to your web pages. Otherwise, if you know for a fact that you just want to be different in to your competitors in a specific way, maybe that way is having less text, but just maybe be more on point. This is something that you can also do. So once again, you either know what you're doing, and then you can just sort of play around with all the little parameters that we have selected in the content in the brief settings, which Max showed you like 20 minutes ago. So yeah, it's a matter of either just doing your research or trusting the system.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right you are, Andrew. And I see that Emmanuel has added saying, what I mean is that to use all the keywords and keyword count. This is actually a great question because those guidelines that you see and the keyword count that the system prompts to you right here on the left panel, this is something you control fully. So if at any point you decide that, hey, there are too many keywords, for instance, hey, I do not want to use that keyword anymore, I've reused them, etc., you can always adjust those in the briefing right here. You can disable them, and then the content score will follow along. So you can actually adjust it at any time. It's completely up to you, but those are system suggestions. So I hope that helps. Okay, so following through, we have the quality tab. Now, quality tab is where we tend to help you simplify the way you analyze and proofread the text, because we understand that it takes a lot of time as well. So with the quality tab, you will see any possible grammar mistakes, punctuation errors, and then stop words that convolute and that water down the text, which is kind of a red flag for Google in general. So you can always refer to the grammar mistakes here and see the suggestions that the system actually prompts to you. Now, below that, you also have the ability to check that text for plagiarism. If you want your content to be high quality and undetectable for plagiarism, you can use this option here as well. And finally, the overall readability score, which I must say corresponds with your overall content score. Right, so that's basically it. Now, what I'm going to do next is that I'm not going to dive into the AI writer section just yet, but I'm going to delete the text we've just created and go to option number 3, which is generate an article with AI wizard, or rather writer, but we also call it a wizard. Now, by generating an article in one click, you get fast, high quality text. But we must say that when it comes to AI detection, there could be certain errors and there could be certain issues. So as always, we normally suggest that you edit whatever text comes out of AI and just work in it a bit, add your voice, etc. But in terms of having more control, and we understand that this like one-click generation could be a bit out of control, we offer the AI writer assistance option. This is where you can actually control each of the steps the system takes to create an article for you. Starting with the general settings right here, you will be able to change the intent behind the text. You can go with the target audience if you know that, hey, this bit of text is going to be created for success managers or for auditors, etc. So you can actually tell the system who the article will be designated for. Then you can add the best content format. You can change the tone of voice. And of course, you can add additional details you would like our AI to add to the text. Because there are specific messages, specific products, specific personal names, and proper names you would like to add to the text. Not any AI can actually generate a bit of text like that quite quickly. But here, you have that option. And then finally, we have the creativity level, which is quite straightforward. I normally tend to stick with the normal one, not to get too creative. But for those of you who wonder if we're actually making efforts on making the text that created by our AI assistant more humane, more personalized, then the answer is yes. And the answer to that is Boost Anti-AI Detection. This is just a trial feature. It's a beta version of the feature we just released. But basically, if you toggle that slide bar there, then the system will try to adjust the text to more human-like. There could be certain errors. That could be sentences that are common sentences, not very polished, which normally come out of AI, etc. But my recommendation is to be careful with this feature this time because it's still beta. Don't be too harsh on us. But trust me, if you test it out and you have some feedback, reach out to us, support at SEOranking.com. We'll be more than happy to hear that. Right, so this is only the first step. I'm sorry for giving you a lecture here, guys, but we're very close to actually seeing very valuable text that is fully controlled and commanded by us. The next step with the wizard is, of course, to identify the structure. Now, the first thing we need to do is find the right topic. If you have your topic, that's cool. Feel free to simply copy paste it right here. If not, here are some results that the system actually has for you. Now, you can always load more to look for the ones that make sense most. And my recommendation, and as I believe Andrew's recommendation, is to use the headings that actually, the titles rather, that have numbers in those. Because numbers actually attract people. It's much more digestible for them to see, hey, 5 best ways to do this, 10 best ways to do that. If you do not like the options you see here, no worries, just create the one for yourself. And this is exactly what I'm going to do. I'm simply going to copy paste the topic that we already have for that article. Then in the content structure section, we decide if we're going to dive deeper into the details of the text, then we're going to have those H3s, or we're going to discard them. Maybe there are some talking points that we'd like to have at the very beginning. You can discard them if you do not need them. And then also you can disable the FAQ section if you would like to create those questions yourself, or if you would like to spare the limits of the AI words that are at your disposal. Now, normally, the recommendation that I get from our marketing team who use our tool extensively is that they try to avoid creating those talking points and FAQ section points by using AI, because it spares the keyword count, and just feel free to use it as a friendly piece of advice here. Okay, moving from here, we can go to actually designating the headings. Let's give it a minute for the system to prompt the suggested headings to us. We can select the ones that we actually like. If we do not like some of those, we can always create the others by ourselves. And finally, we get to the most important step, where you can actually see that control you have over AI Assistant, where you can actually take our assistant by the hand and say, hey, in the heading 2 on creating an effective content strategy, I would like the talking points to be 1, 2, 3, 5. And then I see that you would like to use these terms, but I prefer content creation best, for instance. So now you have the ability to go through each and every of the paragraphs the headings, sorry, not the paragraphs, the headings that the content will have, and actually guide our AI assistant through it. Once you did that, we can continue with the wizard and let it do its magic. Now, it might take a few moments again, because again, it's analyzing lots of data. It's creating the content that is actually high quality, that is viable, and that is something that will be engaging for you and your readers. So while we're doing this, let's take a look at the other questions that we might have. Andrew, would you like to step in? Do you have any questions?
Yeah. I noticed the question was asked by Daniela a long time ago, but I wanted to start off by asking Daniela to clarify her question about, does it support very niche sectors? So I'll wait on that. If Daniela has anything to ask us specifically. I also see a question from William. I want to tell you that right now our content team specifically is using this AI writer, content editor to update a lot of our articles, because you always want to keep those stuff up to date. And once you have like 100 or 200 articles, it gets really tricky with keeping those stuff up to date, because you want to keep them ranking. So I hear you, William. Once the girls, our team finished writing the stuff and testing out what the results are, because I already know that if you just follow, take an existing article and just follow the guidelines, it will improve the content score. And it's not just an internal metric. At the end of the day, we managed to jump 1 page in the ranking. So we were on like position 12. Now we were on position 7 on a couple of articles. Well, obviously they're different numbers, but like we managed to get onto page 1 just by looking at the suggestions within the tool. But I hear you with regard to the case study. This is something that we definitely need to develop to sort of alleviate those pains straight away. Yeah, we already had the question from Emmanuel. Oh, Copy Samurai has a very good interaction with us, but this question is it's very loaded. Like, the one thing that I can say right now is um, like, if you take, for example, ChatGPT and ask it to use popular words, it has no idea what a search volume. Well, I understand what search volume is, but it doesn't have any data on anything. So, like, the biggest point that sets us apart from other generators is that we have the data right here, and the tool lets you know what actually works right now in real time, what works for your competitors, and you can sort of, yeah, obviously you need to do a bit of the work, throw in a bit of your own personality, because after all, Google is looking at EEAT, meaning experience, expertise, trust, and authoritativeness. So that first E, the experience, is in no way can be transferred into AI. Well, obviously you can let it know, like, please write a paragraph about my happy trip to the beach last week where I tried on new sandals. That will be like, it will be your own experience, but still, this is something that you have to throw in there, because automatically the experience part is not going to be covered unless you let the tool know that you want it to be like full of real life examples. And then just also go through it, make sure that you like it at least, because Google may say some things, but at the end of the day, if you, for example, launch a PPC campaign and push this, just your content that is AI generated to people, and they see it and it looks good, then you will get those numbers. Your rankings will go up. You're like, there's no other way around it, because after all, it's all about satisfying the demand that people have. What do they want to solve? What is their intent with that search? So yeah, about that is what I wanted to say about that. There's also a question from Donald. Will there be an improvement on the suggested keywords, as sometimes competitors brands names as keywords? So the reason for that is that you are competing with somebody, and they, for example, wrote their brand's name in their article, and surprise, they wrote it like 12 times. So our system sees that as something popular, and just lets you know that you can that this is something that your competitor did. So it's not a matter of like improving, because if we do that improvement and remove competitor names, somebody, another user, will not be just have access to that. So this is some, we're giving you the most information as possible, and it's, yeah, obviously it's a bit of work needs to be done, because one click will not get you anything. You won't be ranking in position number one, and you won't your users won't think, wow, this is amazing content that you're putting out every hour and it's on the spot. So you have to put in the work to sort of see if it does represent your brand, your style. So that is what I wanted to say to Donald's question. Max, if you have anything to add, you're welcome. There's also a question about, will we be flagging any false positives in the grammar section to the system? So when I was looking at this question, I think that we need to let our team know, the developers know, something on an individual account basis. So if you do flag something, it will be only relevant to you, because we don't want you to inform the system how to react to other users. So I hear that this is like, we need to have like an internal reaction, sort of interaction with the content editor. So like, you sort of personalize your experience with it. This is a very good point. Thank you. Because I myself see sometimes like a British spelling or an American spelling, and it just says, no, this is wrong. And I know for a fact that it's right. So I hear you, GeoFresh. Thank you for that. When I have Max, I'm just taking over because I've been looking at these questions for over 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's okay. Go ahead. We can finish the AI a bit later. Sure.
Yeah, sure. Just giving you that break. As for the regard to the readability score, yeah, I'm not really sure what you mean here, because you're saying that AI suggested already something. So it'd be really good if we had a specific example. Maybe you wrote this question when Max was showing something like 25 minutes ago. I will not be able to address that, but the right now we have like a feedback system that you can let this at the very bottom of the page right now. If Max scrolls all the way down, there's like a question about your feedback, so you can just let us know what went wrong, what didn't go, yeah, it's mostly like we need that constructive criticism, definitely. But yeah, we've already been doing a lot of work, and it's an ongoing process, because yeah, we're trying to create something that doesn't exist yet. Nobody has like a one-click article generation that just knows what you have in your head and just puts it out there. So, but we hear you, Nebedita. So if you, we hear this specific comment, and if you have any interaction with the content editor, you can also specify it there. But we definitely want to have a more personalized approach in there, like the GeoFresh comment that we spoke about earlier. Another question is, are there any tools that help with keyword density or avoiding keyword stuffing? Loads, we have them in a ranking here. Right now, you're looking at one of them. Keyword density is a factor in the brief settings. It lets you know, already sort of analyzing the competitors, lets you know what the keyword density of the seeded keyword is. So the information is available where you need it. So it's not only available here, it's available in keyword research. In competitive research, if you go to analyze a specific URL, it will let you know what is going on with that web page. And this is very actionable, because you can sort of avoid taking the risks and just know that, okay, this website is ranking in position number 2. Let me just try repeating their success. Will I be ranking in position number 3 or close to them? If so, then you can start putting in a bit of extra your personality or your brand, and just sort of playing around with that, because you want to be unique. You don't want to have the same stuff that is ranking number 1. You want to have your own experience in there. You want to have your own images, your own thoughts, obviously. But at the end of the day, it's about getting that bit of valuable information, because maybe with the AI overviews happening right now, so maybe nobody will see your beautiful thoughts. But we have to be ready for everything, because I'm still one of the old school guys that will just click on an article and go and read it. No matter what Google tries to sort of truncate and provide me with, just to solve my problem really quickly. All right, another question: will we allow to bring your own APIs key to expand the number of AI words available? Right now, the second part of the question applies. So we have a specific set. We have to sort of, understand what the mechanics is behind that, because we are still using an external service that has its limits, and we are paying for those once you interact with them. That is, but we have a custom interaction with it. So it's not just like a copy and paste Chat GPT. No, it's not. It's not that. It's a custom thing that was worked on for, I can tell you, for over 3 months, at least from what I know. But I jumped on this situation when the development team was asking questions about like providing feedback on an already existing tool. So let me see what else we have there. Will the video have a Spanish version? We know the Spanish is one of the most popular languages in the Western world. So we definitely, it's like number 2, definitely, together with French, Italian, German. We really want to handle these things, but it's a matter of investigating these languages, because we were working on an English language with specialists who work with the English language, have a standard of quality, and we were trying to replicate that here, and it's an ongoing process. But definitely, we know that a lot of our users don't care if it's only in English, because they work with a specific market. So definitely Spain is going to be developed, but it's not Spain. When I say that's the issue, because you have Mexico, Colombia, Venezuela, Argentina. You have different Spanish versions even there. So we hear you, Alejandro. That is something that is going to be in the works, but right now this is like sort of the rollout of an advanced content editor for the English language. Once we get the ball rolling really hard there, we will continue expanding to other languages. But definitely, like I said at the beginning, we are about providing you with what you need. We have another question. So as we were addressing these questions, a couple of new ones came in, and I have no idea, but I'm just clicking it. Let's see that there's a question mark in there. So let me just bring it up on the screen. This, I presume, is using SERP data for the keywords. So if so, does this algo scrape these sites for more up-to-date data, or does it rely on the default knowledgeable? No. We always, like, it's not just one system. We have like, we update the backlinks, we update keywords, we update your rankings, we recheck websites. If you don't find information, you can use our expand database feature, and we will specifically go and dig up whatever you need. And this is very useful if you have a niche sector, or I don't know, you work in Denmark and you have a new tool or a new product came out, and our tool won't have anything on it because it's something like a fidget spinner. Once it came out, like, we didn't have any information on it, but like in 2 days later, boom, we have that information. So it's an ongoing process, and we know that like data that is not accurate doesn't mean anything. So we try to go do our best to analyze this in real time. And as Max was showing the brief settings with the terms to use, there's a lot of data in there in that table, and that table is updated in the moment when he ran the check. So we analyzed 10 websites. You can ask it to analyze more, but we did that and showed you the top 10 top 10 ranking websites, what their information with regard to keywords is. Yeah, and the search volume in there is something that we update, I think every 2 weeks, but it's not like a general process like every 2 weeks we update your rankings, but it's like an ongoing process that we update rankings every day, but for different sectors, for different regions and stuff like that. But it's an ongoing process because yeah, we want to have more specific information than what Google provides us with. All right, I see another comment from Copy Samurai. Thank you for the interactions. We will definitely take all of your feedback into account. Let me see. We have another question from Silvio. Can you just write an article related to keyword intent, or to the article it will be written only based on the suggested picked keywords without taking? No. The intent is obviously very important. We've added the intent feature to a couple of our tools, specifically the keyword research tool. And I think you can also even find it as you're doing research with regard to keywords in other tools. But specifically, I know that the search intent is visible there. And the AI, that's one of the beautiful things about it, is that when you write how to tie shoelaces, it knows what your intent is. So we don't need to specify that additionally. If you see that your article brought resulted in something that you didn't want to see, maybe just rework the title. Maybe you didn't specify something at the very beginning, because I haven't had issues just writing basic stuff, and it would understand that I'm looking for this specific data. So it's very much a matter of calling what the title of your article is. That is basically one of the ways the tool settles the intent, figures it out. Whew. All right. There was a question. Those were the questions that I saw into the chat, and all the other questions that we're not able to answer, or we didn't cover. We will analyze this definitely. As always, we throw your input, your feedback, your suggestions. We give it to the development team, so that they know what you guys expect to see from the tool. And it's an ongoing process, so we're always happy to know what you need, because otherwise we're just doing best practices and it's not helping anybody. So if you have anything specifically that you want us to add that you're missing, obviously with the you have to like sort of know the limit. Like you can't just ask us, "Ooh, give us 5,000 articles for free each month." So we can't give you that. But at least we can do our best so that you're happy with the money that you're putting into the tool, and getting the results that you need. So let me see if we have. Yeah, there aren't any other questions. So let's just give the word back to Maxim.
Yeah, thanks, Andrew. Thanks. I think using all of those questions, lots of answers have been granted. So there isn't much I can tell you about the feature anymore. I think we've got a very thorough deep dive into all of the features here with Content Editor. I hope it was helpful, and I hope you have seen like the extent of all of those capabilities we're offering this time. Now, just to show you the final result, as you can see, again, we've gotten a completely fully navigated and well-controlled bit of content, bit of text that can now be used for your e-commerce business, for your blog posting, for creating your landing pages, etc. And using this AI wizard option could be a very good way for you to take command of that creation process. But sometimes maybe you do not have time for that, so you can go ahead with a one-click option. Now, lastly, the thing that I did say we would discuss at the end would be the AI writer section. Again, here you will find all of those capabilities that we offer with AI. Maybe in the end, you have decided to create meta title and meta description because this is not something you would like to waste your time on. Maybe you need a whole frequently asked questions section, and etc. So feel free to experiment and feel free to go directly to the section and just try things out and see what kind of outcome, what kind of result you're getting. And just to leave you with the last thing that I love about Content Editor is the share option right here. Now, as I mentioned at the very beginning, our Content Editor is a collaborative tool. So with the share option, you can enable guest access to this particular article only and copy this link. When you send this link to somebody and they enter it, they will they will access the interface quite similar to the one they see here, and they will be able to edit and work on the article. So this is a great way for you to actually collaborate with your copywriters, to keep track of their progress, to monitor the changes, and by simply sending away that share link. So that's basically it for me. I hope this has been helpful. My apologies if we did not have enough time to cover some other bits within the content editor feature, but I think most of the most important things have actually been covered. So that's it for me. Thanks for your attention, guys, and just thank you. If you have any questions, leave them right here. I think we can answer them, try answering them in the next couple of minutes. If not, then you can reach out to our support at SEOranking.com. Our amazing support team will be more than happy to help you answer those questions.
Thanks a lot, Maxim. Yeah, a lot of stuff has been said. So yeah, I realize that it's a lot. You maybe want to go back and rewatch this whole thing. And actually, I invite you to play around with the tool so you figure out what exactly you can do with it, what results you can get, and just reach out. Let us know if you have any suggestions on further improvements to the tools. And what else did I want to say? Shoot, it slipped my mind. But I would really appreciate all the input that you've been giving us here, and yeah, we're looking forward to that constructive criticism so that we just can make our tools even better. Yeah, and I want to invite you. Yeah, there is a free trial available. We're actually going to have in the follow-up emails. You should also get an invitation to try that free trial, and maybe even an exclusive one where you'll have access to at least 3 articles. So let us know if you were at this event and you right now go to SEO Ranking and you're not seeing something. Just right in the bottom right-hand corner, find that live chat and let the team know that like you want to try it out or something like that, and we'll see it from there. So really happy for all the engagement that we had from you. I'm really excited with the results that Maxim showed us with the content editor, and yeah, we're gonna put out more stuff there, and I want to invite everybody to join the ranks of SEO Ranking. So over 1 million SEO pros have already tried SEO Ranking, and yeah, just hoping you like what you see. And once again, let us know if something is off. We'll do our best to jump on that issue and fix it as soon as possible, but hopefully none of that will happen. All right, and yeah, thank you to the chat. The chat has just been amazing. My favorite chat from almost all my time here at SEO Ranking. Yeah, I want to invite everybody. Well, not everybody, depending on what your type of business is, but if you do have an agency, we invite you to join the agency catalog, where you will get more visibility among our clients. Obviously, it's not just something that you can just do. It comes with the agency pack, but the agency pack gives you additional controls like a white label, lead generator. You can convince your clients that SEO Ranking is your own development, and you know all the technical stuff that goes into it. So be sure to check out the agency catalog, get listed, get more clients specifically looking for help using SEO Ranking. So that is a perfect match already right there. If you have any other questions, we have our community where you can always reach out to your peers. Our teammates are always in there looking what is going on, what questions you have, not only with regard to SEO Ranking, but with regard to SEO. Maybe a new issue just popped up. We'd love to have that dialogue going on in our community. Yeah, we have giveaways there, so we try to keep it fun and keep it real. And also we have a couple of podcasts. Well, specifically the one that we're promoting right now is the Do Follow podcast. It is devoted to specifically SEO topics. We have new topics every month with different experts from all over the world. So really excited to be doing that. And hopefully, yeah, the community will, you guys will benefit from all the insights that we share, not just in the Do Follow podcast, but look at this slide over here. We have LinkedIn, we have Facebook, we have YouTube, which is all the videos are there. A lot of stuff are there. And we have, yeah, this podcast is wherever on your favorite platform. Listen and tune in wherever you feel comfortable. So yeah, we've been putting up the podcast for over a year now. So we have like 20 something episodes on specifically that podcast. We have also an agency podcast where we talk about with agency leaders. We talk with them about their journey, about their struggles, about the wins that they have, sort of to give all the agencies out there a bit more insight into the process, so that maybe they don't stress too much, knowing that somebody shares that same pains, the same problems. That is perfectly okay. Yeah, so you're welcome. We have a knowledge base, our blog. We try to do our best to give you an opportunity to find the information that you need on the spot on the internet. If not, reach out to us via live chat. We'd love to chat with you and figure out how we can help you. Yeah, that was what I wanted to say. I want to once again thank to everybody who took the time to be here. The 27 people still hanging on and listening to us. And I want to thank Maxim for doing such an awesome job and showing off the tool. I'm really excited that we managed to cover so much and cover so many things. So yeah, just want to wish everybody a high rankings, not too many core updates happening every month, and just sort of have fun doing it, because actually it's an art. Doing SEO, getting your business out there, it should be fun and exciting. So thanks to everybody for being here, and we're going to end it here. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye everybody.